As a senior in high school, I had the opportunity to take a couple of classes at the university that my high school was connected to. Now, at that point, I thought that I maybe wanted to be a philosophy major once I got to college, and so I decided to take 2 philosophy classes to try it out: philosophy of religion and logic. Now, you might not guess this, but I'm actually really good at math, and it turns out that philosophical logic is a lot like math. So that class came very naturally to me. It was all if A, then B, if B, then C, therefore if A, then C. Very logical, right? With A, B, and C representing whatever philosophic ideas that you were trying to prove. It was straightforward and easy, it made sense, and I found it so boring. There's a reason I didn't go into math as a profession, despite my aptitude for it. Now, on the other hand, my philosophy of religion class was fascinating. We read Augustine's Confessions and Elie Wiesel's Night, and William James's Varieties of Religious Experience, my favorite of all of them. We explored the effects that religious experience had on people and how those experiences changed people's lives. But then we got to Thomas Aquinas' 5 proofs for the existence of God, and I was less enamored. Aquinas' proofs are literally that. They use those principles of logical reasoning that I was learning in my other class to present 5 logic-based arguments for the existence of God. If this, then this. If this, then that. Therefore, God. Despite their logic, the arguments were much less compelling to me than, say, Elie Wiesel's moving account of his experiences in the Holocaust and the conclusions he drew about religion from that. It felt like Aquinas was trying to bring reason, logic, and explanation into the realm of mystery, a realm that sometimes should be left well enough alone. I really appreciate Chuck's 2 ways of thinking about mystery, that there are some mysteries that have explanations that you can find, and there are others that are just better off without an explanation. I hope that's an accurate paraphrase. He's nodding, that's good. Now, as a culture, we tend to be more comfortable with the former, those mysteries that we can solve, can find an answer to. We like that search that leads us to a discovery of a truth. We love to solve problems, to find the answers. I know that when I'm presented with a problem, with a question, I like to research, to talk to others about the problem, and to try to come up with some good solution. That's one of the reasons that television shows like Law and Order are so popular. They start with a mystery, right? You know this kind of show, often dramatically at the scene of a crime. There it is, all the questions. And by the end of an hour, we get all the answers. The crime is solved and everything is tied up neatly with a bow. It's comforting, right? And these days, there's a lot that we can find a scientific explanation for. We actually know a lot about our world and even our universe, and we learn more and more every day. We have scientific explanations for all kinds of things that religion used to explain. We can explain thunderstorms and snowstorms, the changing seasons, the origins of human life. But as the old scientists in our story observed, each discovery just leads us to more and more questions. Real-life search for explanation rarely ends like an episode of Law and Order with everything solved and tied up neatly with a bow within an hour. In fact, often, the more explanations we find, the more mystery we create. This makes any search for the truth rather difficult. Astrophysicist and philosopher Marcelo Gleiser writes, "The map of what we call reality is an ever-shifting mosaic of ideas. We strive toward knowledge, always more knowledge. But most understand that we are and will remain surrounded by mystery." Physics and astronomy professor Chet Ramo agrees. He writes, "Let this then be the ground of my faith. All that we know now and forever, all scientific knowledge that we have of this world or ever will have, is an island in the sea. Still, the mystery surrounds us." It strikes me as a very Unitarian Universalist way of thinking about the truth, about our knowledge. We as Unitarian Universalists believe that what we know of the truth is a part of the truth. No matter how much we might like to find all of the answers, we don't actually believe that we can. We might know some truths about this world, but we can't know the truth. In many ways, as Unitarian Universalists, we live in the questions and not the answers. We're like that old scientist running off to write down the list of new questions he's come up with. As our play told us, we think about the mysteries of life and death, the mysteries of everything, but we don't solve them. We explore and wonder together instead. Marcelo Gleiser would say that this isn't a bad thing at all. In fact, he says it is flirting with this mystery, the urge to go beyond the boundaries of the known that feeds our creative impulse, that makes us want to know more. It is our flirting with mystery that feeds our creative impulse. Isn't that exactly what we saw with the old scientist in our play? And I'm sure you've experienced this too. It's that feeling when you reach the edge of your knowledge and you get curious. And I would say that it's our flirting with mystery that feeds our spiritual impulses as well. It's when we get to the edge of our knowledge or understanding that we venture into the realm of the spirit, the realm of the mysteries that may never have a solution. Unitarian minister A. Powell Davies offers this beautiful reflection on mystery and explanation as it relates to the simple act of viewing a sunset. "Take this sunset," I said to myself. "There is no soul in it. It is just something that clouds do to a source of light." And what are clouds? They are nothing but moisture suspended in the Earth's atmosphere. And what is the sea that reflects the sunset? It is just a great waste of waters, bleak and desolate. Not one thing that composes a sunset is aware of the sunset. Not even the sun, for the sun is nothing but a ball of fire. And my eyes that see all of this, what are they but water and dust, briefly blended for the short space of a human lifetime, so that this insignificant blob of protoplasm that I call myself may see something that isn't altogether there. He goes on, "But isn't it altogether there?" I immediately asked myself. If I am not seeing this sunset with my eyes alone, I am seeing it with a sense of wonder and joy of beauty. And the solace of it is slowly pervading me, even while I stand and look. I am seeing with it with what I can only call my soul. If I do not call it that, I cannot call it anything, yet there it is. I cannot define it, no, but this sunset is a thing of beauty that is definitely real. Indeed, the sunset is not only in the sky, it is in my soul, he concludes. This is mystery in the sense of awe and wonder. That second kind of mystery that Chuck described in his words for reflection. It is the kind of mystery for which seeking an explanation can actually get in the way. Just watch the sunset, right? It's the kind of mystery that I think Thomas Aquinas was not quite grasping when he wrote those 5 proofs for the existence of God. Now, the root of the word mystery actually speaks more to this awe and wonder kind of mystery than the law and order kind. Mystery comes from the Latin root muo, which can be literally translated as shut the mouth, or to be rendered silent or dumbfounded. It is the same root as the English word mute. The kind of mystery that A. Powell Davies is describing is not a mystery that we need to run off and make a list of questions about. Instead, it's an experience that leaves him speechless, that transcends explanation. Now, Chuck wondered at the end of his reflection whether we have enough room for awe in our lives these days. It's a valid question. We have so much that we can find explanations for, sometimes too much. We have so much that we know. Are there times when this gets in the way of us experiencing the second kind of mystery, the kind that manifests as wonder and awe? How do you make space for wonder and awe in your life? Now, I feel lucky right now in this regard because I spend a lot of time with my 7-month-old daughter, who is literally discovering new things about the world every single day and helping me to remember how remarkable our world is. I will never forget the look on her face the day that she discovered she had feet. She looked down, and then she looked up with this look of utter amazement, as if she was saying, "I have feet! Isn't the world magical?" And it was magical. Now, each week, Olympia spends a couple of days at daycare in a room of 12 babies under age 1. God bless their teachers. This past week, when I dropped her off, it was clear that I had come exactly at meltdown o'clock. Every single baby that wasn't eating or sleeping was crying. And then, one of those amazing teachers pulled out a jar of bubbles and started blowing these big, round bubbles all around the room. And I swear, within a minute, maybe less, every single baby had stopped crying as they gazed silently, wondrously at the bubbles. They were literally rendered silent by these mysterious, floating orbs. It was amazing. Now, the mysteries that we adults wonder at may be a bit more complicated than a bubble, but the effect is the same. We spend so much of our day with words and explanation. We need moments where we just fall silent and take it all in, where we remember how big and amazing our universe is. Novelist Pico Iyer says that the opposite of knowledge isn't always ignorance. It can be wonder or mystery, possibility. And in my life, he says, I've found it's the things I don't know that have lifted me up and pushed me forwards, much more than the things I do know. So as we explore mystery together this month, Let us be sure to leave space for that feeling of mystery that begs no explanation, the mystery that renders us speechless. May it be so.
Beyond my sight, something that I cannot see. I've been circling round a thought that's been circling round me, like the vapor of a song that is just out of earshot. I thought I knew the question, but I guess not. There it is, just below the surface of things, in a flash of blue, and the turning of wings. Drain the glass, drink it down, every moment of this, every little bit of it. I swam against the tide, I tripped on my own pride, so I'll try again today to get out of my own way. The face was always in the stone, said Michelangelo. You just have to chip and clear to see what is already there. There it is, just below the surface of things, in a flash of blue and the turning of wings. Drain the glass, drink it down, every moment of this, every little bit of it. There it is in the apple of every new notion. There it is in the scar healed over what was broken, in the branches, in the whispering, in the silence and the sighs, and the curious promise of limited time. It's true, although it's hard, a shadow glides over the ridge, and one fast-beating heart tries with all its might to live, and we sense but can't describe from the corner of our eye something nameless and abiding, and so we keep transcribing. There it is, just below the surface of things, in a flash of blue and the turning of wings. I drain the glass, I drink it down, every moment of this, every little bit of it.